Hello, Zinger Nation. This is Justin Roberti with Benzinga. We're excited to have a Polygon joining us today as we're going to talk a little bit about their recent mainnet release, which is Nightfall. We're also going to talk a little bit about how this wonderful, lovely bear market that we've all been experiencing so acutely is going to impact essentially innovation in the DeFi space over the next little while. So Polygon is kind of like the leading answer to scaling it in the Ethereum space. I've been looking forward to this release for some time. Nightfall, it's including scaling around ZK rollups. They've got their Ernst & Young case study or use case already kind of underway. So it sounds really promising, but boy, what an perfect environment to have this in. And by the way, if you would like to come and talk to us in Twitter Spaces afterward, I'll go ahead and tweet that out and I'll post that in the chat as well. Come and let's do a Twitter Spaces. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and bring on Hamza, Hamza, how are you, sir?
Hey, Justin. Thanks for having me. Firstly, and
yes,
nice to be here at the.
Good. Thank you very much for coming. I very much appreciate it. And you are head of DeFi with Polygon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So you're very much on the product side.
Yes, product. Mm-hmm. Yeah, product ecosystem, all of that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So in this case, obviously Polygon's Matic token has had some up and downs recently, but there's been sort of it seems to be trending back upward, recovering a little bit. But in the meantime, it seems like you are on track with your mainnet release, which is Nightfall. I was just mentioning before. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So I think that is definitely one of the most interesting projects that we have been working on for the past year now. And definitely like enterprises, I think I don't want to get into too much detail, but I think that that will bring in a lot of enterprises, because enterprises are have two things in mind. One is, of course, privacy, which is very important, and secondly is scalability. And I think with rollups and the architecture that that Nightfall has, I think this will be the next stage of how enterprises will be looking at rollups and scaling solutions, Ethereum scaling solutions in general. So we already have some lineup. We just had this launch last week in New York, and most of our enterprise team was here, who was leading the enterprise. So we already have a bunch of signups for the product, and I think I'm pretty excited on what enterprise solutions can be built on this.
And in terms of having a use case that can test the capabilities right away, what does it mean in terms of a validating point to have Ernst & Young as your inaugural partner on this mainnet release?
I think it can't get bigger than this. I mean, who bigger than Ernst & Young to be the launch partner for such a big project? And I think people have just started to realize that these enterprises and Web2, so to say, companies that are not so native from the outside are very, very well on a technical standpoint. They're very solid on that side. So I think that is the time that we are looking at right now.
Right. So in terms of, describe the implementation to me, though. What are we proving about the capabilities we're rolling out in the mainnet here? What are we showing people in terms of this use case?
Yeah, sure. So I think a lot of people always thought that, okay, zero knowledge. So there are two things. So there is in rollups, which is the next phase of scaling solutions. We have two things. One is, of course, there is a optimistic rollup, and there is a zero knowledge rollup. So people always thought that scalability, these two kind of solutions won't work together, and there's always the binary kind of a selection of use cases. But I think now with Polygon Nightfall, we are using optimistic rollups for scalability and zero knowledge for privacy. So I think this will be probably, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it, as to my knowledge, is the first solution that that Polygon has been working with with Ernst & Young for some time, and I think this will be a pretty cool thing going ahead.
By the way, everyone who's watching, please go ahead and ask questions over on the side. Of course, we're also going to be heading over to a Twitter Spaces at 5:30 Eastern time. Okay, I've also seen, like, first, I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for the Polygon project. It seemed like you had a lot of things right in terms of your overall approach to scaling around Ethereum, which really, guys, I mean, for those who are convinced, and there are some convinced out there, that Bitcoin has become limited. It's become limited in terms of its supply, its ability to meet global demand, and so forth. And I can see some of those arguments. If there is any heir apparent to Bitcoin, of course, it's going to be Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum will be the next thing that people are looking toward. How does this bear market change things for Polygon? Does it impact your timeline at all? And does it, is it an impediment to try and roll out new features like this in a bear market?
No, I don't think no way. I think we are well in line with a lot of announcements that we are trying to do, and not just announcement, like the product launches that we are trying to do. I think we are well in line with all of those. And Nightfall, we committed, would be launching around this Q2, and I think we launch that next month. We will have another very big the stack of Ethereum scaling solutions. So the next one will be launching, I think not this month, but very early next month or mid next month. The testnet of that product will be launching. So I think that will be probably bigger for retail, than what enterprises. We have already even at these prices, I think the local bottom that we saw, hopefully global bottom, but local bottom that we saw last week, we still had $1 billion of matter in our treasury, and we like over 350 million of stable in our treasury. So I think there's no way that we are going to slow down, or going to double down more on these things. And I think that we did was strategic in that sense. I mean, Polygon has been a bear market product. Like most of our innovation and most of our things, like we were born in it. And I think going ahead, we will only become stronger. So no way.
Right. Okay. Well, I know that you're trying to that obviously Polygon has been reacting to the terrible situation with Terra, and those, of course, who were left holding the bag on Luna, which is a very sad thing that we take very seriously here. Everyone, please like and subscribe. By the way, I just have to say that at random points when I think of it, please do that, and it's very helpful to us. But beyond that, I know that you've been following the Terra situation, and that Polygon has reached out to Terra developers to try and offer some sort of platform, because we don't know quite what's going to happen with Terra yet. We know that the South Korean government is speaking to the founder of Terra Network at this point, although I from what I understand, it is not put into the light of a legal problem yet, but they want to have some initial conversations with him. It's obviously a terrible situation. And what really stinks is that beyond whatever you think of algorithmically backed stable coins, which obviously they may not be a thing anymore, Terra was a pretty promising project. What are you going to do with all the enthusiasm and talent and projects? Have you been able to, I know that Polygon's focus is very often on interoperability, but are you ready to be able to take on and accommodate the people who, the good projects that have been existing on Terra Network before?
Yes. So we'll be announcing some big stuff that we were doing with some of those, not the Terra core team, but the ecosystem project. So it's not just right. Terra, but all of the projects that were already on top. There were very solid builders on. I think I really appreciate what UI UX they have, way much better than what we have, or the wider Ethereum ecosystem has. So I think they were able to attract a lot of that Web2 talent, UI UX talent, which is hard to find in this market. So in this week, you will see some big one big name from Terra come to Polygon exclusive. So we have closed that, and in the next in the next couple of days. You'll see that announcement, and once that happens, you'll see like a bunch of things fall into place, because we truly believe that in to I mean, the whole space is like 5 million users, or 4 or 5
Mhm.
million users altogether, which is like what, like less than 1%, 0.01% of global TAM that internet touches.
Mhm.
So this is still a long way to go. And yes, like a lot of retail and users and builders, more than that, importantly, builders got burnt a lot with bad debt. I think that is the most sad part, honestly. The more I speak with projects, they believed in the future of UST. And I don't want to go into like the details of that, but we are more than happy. We are already doing it, not just hot talk, or like just randomly just hot air. But we you'll see some stuff coming out later this week.
Hmm. Okay, well, that's good. I mean, in terms of offering, you said, of course, it's not the core dev team for Terra Network itself that you've been reaching out to. You've been reaching out to projects that are being built on Terra Network. Now, a Polygon is very much built around a scalable, interoperable future. So I imagine you have something to the effect of an SDK that allows them to port stuff over to develop on your platform, or are you like allowing them to develop on Terra, even though it's kind of an orphan network now, and then carry it over? How will that be working in practical terms?
Yeah,
Right.
that's a very good question. I think no, it will be. We definitely have a SDK and all of those things, developer documentation. So they would have to port all of the stuff, because I think I'm not completely up to date on what the health of the network is, of the Terra network is, but I think most of them will be, all of them practically will be moving all of their dApps into Polygon blockchain,
Mhm.
and like find a new home here. And
Mhm.
for that, whatever tech resources, marketing resources, grants, whatever is required, we are more than happy, and we are already doing it, and we will do it even more.
Right. You know, this is just me. I like to corner people on my show here and just ask them their opinions about things. I'm just asking you.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you, Hamza, if you had to have a takeaway away from the Terra story. I was listening to something the other day that's pointing out if you put $1 million into Luna tokens and then waited a week, right before the great crash came, you have something that's just worth like nothing, literally nothing.
Yeah.
Um, what is the cautionary tale here? If you were going to you've been in and around the space for a number of years. You're very much on the technical and product side of it. He had a very clever thing going on there. It gained a lot of enthusiasm. Maybe made some promises that it couldn't sustain in terms of returns. But
Mm.
what would you say should be our takeaway as investors and just as people who support the blockchain space?
Yeah, I think more. I'm less concerned about the blockchain side, but I'm more concerned about the DeFi side, because
Yeah.
that is where people get attracted more to the yield, which was 20%, which was quoted by a lot of investors, by a lot of influencers as risk-free yield. So I think in blockchain, you always have to understand one thing: you should know where the yield is coming from, or then you are the yield. If you don't know where the yield is coming from, you are the yield. And and I think that became more clear with Terra, and because it was such as a global scale. But I have been doing, like, just I've been in the space for some time, and I've been following these algorithmic stable coins for some time, and they always die down in a similar fashion, but of course not in such a grand scale. But they down the graph looks pretty much like this, how it happened. So you have to understand where the yield is coming from. And if is it a token inflationary yield? Is it a blockchain inflationary yield? Where is the like what is the yield actually consisting of? uh,
Mhm.
I think that if you don't understand it, I think because a lot of retail didn't completely figure out how, where that 20% is coming from. Is it the blockchain native token yield? Is it a lot of things they didn't understand, because it was marketed in a way. I mean, I won't say who, how. Let's not go there. But in
Right.
collectively, it was marketed in a way that it was risk free. A lot of people even said that it is risk free. And in finance, as you know, even on a broader finance, I'm not even talking about crypto. There's nothing risk free. Like some way or the other, there are tranches, there are insurance, there is in TradFi you have all these things. But in crypto, because it's such a nascent stage, we don't yet have those things. So if someone is saying risk free, even if it is 20% or even if it is 2%, you have to always doubt, then how the hell is it to risk free, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That thing, retail, I'm sorry, but retail learned it the hard way, but it is what it is. Like you have to learn and understand where that 20%, 2%, 5% yield is coming from. If not,
Mm-hmm.
you are the yield. That's the hard truth.
And be honest, when another alternative network is when players like this have this level of problem, it creates a problem for the entire space potentially, doesn't it?
Yes, of course, yes.
Imagine plays right into the bear market. And the FOMO everyone's already feeling. But I love that saying. If you don't know where the yield is coming from, you are the yield. Is that consciously the Web3 version of the old Web2 adage that if a service is free online because you are the product? Like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's brilliant. I really like that. Everyone, please like, subscribe, follow, all that other good stuff, and go ahead and post any questions that you have in the live chat. We of course are going to be doing a Twitter Spaces afterward as well. I'll go ahead and post that. Come on and join us over there. So Hamza, I know that in terms of the recent release. One of the big deals is that you're actually for Polygon Nightfall. First of all, why Nightfall? Why is the name Nightfall? You're on the product team, so just wondering. Is it entirely arbitrary? Just sounds cool. Just wondering.
I I don't know honestly. Why we Yeah.
Not
I
maybe
don't
there'd
know.
be a story behind it. But I heard that something that people are excited about is the way it's storing some of the information directly on Ethereum, which sounds cool. What should we be pumped about in reference to this new release?
I think like the what I mentioned earlier is like the kind of use cases it will allow enterprises to explore, which was not possible before, because before you had these Zcash, Monero, these kind of chains which were quoted to provide these kind of things, but not in the Ethereum ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And because Ethereum allows programmability, allows a lot of composability, those kind of things were not there on these previous chains. I think that will hopefully change. Enterprise coming into the ecosystem. Plus, it is more secure. Ethereum already has 150, 200, I don't know how much billion right now the market as TVL. And since we are using rollup, so it is secured 100% by Ethereum security. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that way, like enterprises can be can leave the heavy lifting of security to Ethereum main chain and focus on Nightfall for their execution and computation. So I think that opens up like a whole green space or a white field altogether.
Right. I'm getting a question from strictly sports over here. What's the best resource for DeFi on Polygon? I imagine he might mean hedge farming or yield farming in this case. But go ahead and let's take this opportunity to shout out a couple of exceptional projects you have going on in the network. I am also a big fan of Polygons. I agree with you strictly. So let us know what should we be looking at over there.
Yeah, I think like again, this is not any financial advice or whatever. Like, but yeah, we have been trying to help a lot of teams in the ecosystem. Like of course, QuickSwap, Aave has been there for some time now. They have been the OGs of the space. MeshSwap recently launched. They are the team behind Clayton Chain. So I don't know how many of you know, but it's the biggest chain in Korea, about 500,000 users. So that was a big deal when they first chose Polygon for their global expansion out of Clayton, which is a very regional Korea chain. So they chose Polygon, and they reached, I don't know, like 600 million or something in 2 weeks or 10 days or something like that. That then you can definitely try Uniswap. Uniswap, there is liquidity mining going on right now on Uniswap. Pool together, then you have more native projects like Dystopia has recently launched. I think it's on test net, maybe, I'm not sure. It's still early on that, but OVIX is there. OVIX is the new lending market, which they have improved on the tokenomics and the curves and a lot of things. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about some of those native projects to see in this bear market, because I think we get to build
Mhm.
with less.
For Justin Havens, has there been a large movement of DeFi teams from Terra Luna ecosystem looking to build on Polygon? We were just talking about that a minute ago. I mean, you've created essentially a separate API or SDK for them to be able to port over their apps onto Polygon. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we are setting up. We have set up that, and we are setting up a more. We are setting up a more developer documentation for people, because there's a difference of what do you call language from Terra to Polygon to EVM basically, and we have set up that. We had set up that, and we'll make it more public in the coming months, in the coming days, over this week, that a lot of those things will become more public for the developers, that they can start using in Polygon to port their projects. So yeah, we are actively working on that. Yes.
Well, that's great. Do you think that this dip in the markets is going to have a deleterious effect on advancements and DeFi? In other words, are people going to be slower to innovate? They're slower to take chances, given people taking more of a wait and see approach because they've been losing money.
Uh, so when you say people, there are two things. There are builders and there
Investors
are
and the projects. Sure, both, but yet they rely on each other, so they're two
yeah,
interconnected audiences.
yeah, for sure. So I think the builders, yes, the froth will go away, because there were a lot of I mean, like Polygon, we are open to everyone. We don't there are a lot of projects who just tell us, 1 month after that, okay, we have launched, and can you help us with marketing? After a month they tell us, okay. Even after 2 months they tell us. They don't even tell us sometimes. But I think, like, in this market, like how I'm seeing this is, it's something like, in 2018, when the market crashed, most of the biggest innovation happened in 2019. Uniswap, Maker, Balancer, ETHLend, all of these things happened in 2019, that 1 year of bear market. Of course, like, the bear market extended to 2020, but then 2020 you saw the DeFi summer, and all the innovation came up. So I think, how I see this as, like, the true builders will remain. Like, there is no one going out. See, let's be very clear, no one is going out. And only the ones who are, mercenary, and who just think of this as, who see Web3 as a get rich quick scheme, they will go for sure, and they will come back again in another bull cycle whenever it comes. That is for sure. Like, it's been historical, and they'll come back to, with zero innovation. But I think with Polygon, we will be here. We are not going anywhere. And a lot of teams will. I'm working now with more. So right now, hiring has become easier, because like, the rates have come down. The marketing rates have come down. Like, all of these, the ecosystem stuff has come down. So yes, like, valuations have gone down. Fundraising has gone a little down, for sure. But on a wider level, I think, I am not concerned. And like, the most innovation, like I said, happens in these bear markets, has always happened historically, cyclically. And I'm not concerned, and I'm not seeing any substantial change, where we should stop seeing, forks just getting built on different chains. We have stopped seeing that, which is good. And I'm more interested in, what actual innovation happens. So I think we are well ready for that.
Okay, so what are the three things that we should look out for at this point? Like, what do you is Polygon bullish on for the rest of 2022? So far, 2022, just about half over. Maybe not quite everything we would wish it to be. We could argue that some of these things are corrections, but they are market corrections that have made a lot of people unhappy. What do you maintain your optimism for, Hamza, in terms of what Polygon can achieve this year, what we can see out of you that we really ought to be watching?
From a network standpoint, from the infrastructure standpoint, I think Nightfall was one. We will be launching the data availability layer, which basically data availability layer sits between Ethereum and the rollups. Because so if rollups really have to scale, they need a data availability layer which syncs to Ethereum. And that you can look at the docs; it's already there on the website. That we will be launching next month. Testnet will launch next month. So I think
Right.
a lot of infrastructure level stuff we will be building this month, this next few months. Then hopefully, I mean, in the next couple of months, by July or August, in one of the big conferences, hopefully, touchwood, we will launch world's first, I mean, the ecosystem's first ZK EVM. We are in line, so with zero knowledge, roll up to Ethereum with 100% EVM compatibility. No one is doing this, and we will be the first team with Hermes. Hopefully, to launch it in to launch it by July or August. So those three things I think I'm very very excited about, because that will allow like a whole green field for new developers to build on chain stuff. From a DeFi standpoint, what I wish and what I think will happen, and I think we are already working in that direction, is tokenless yields. And this is something that I have been advocating internally. I've been advocating with a lot of teams that we work with in general in the space, event permissionless. Is that in this bear market, if you launch a token, it's just like farm and dump, and the token is not going to do well. So the teams who innovate, like I told no earlier, is like, where is the yield coming from? If it is coming from the token, then you're doing something wrong. And I think in this kind of a bear market, we will see a lot of tokenless yield products come up, which are mostly will be structured products, options, derivatives markets. Second is POS staking, like ETH 2.0 staking and Matic staking. These will open a lot of tools and products that can be built using that yield. And certainly, like the yield will not be 20%, but it will definitely be something substantial and way more than what TradFi we achieve. So I think these two three things, and trading fees. I think trading fees, how we can build more capital efficiency in the
Mhm.
trading fees. I think Uniswap V3 has taken a home on Polygon, taking
Mhm.
about 50-60% of trading volume. That is a big deal, and just shows how important that product is, because it is generating a lot of yield to the LPs right
Right.
now, more than Curve probably without a token. So I think that is something which I'm more interested in the coming months, and innovation on top of that.
All right, excellent. Do you want to give us? I'm posting everyone the Twitter Spaces link. I actually have just started the Spaces, so come on over and join us. It's a great opportunity to be able to ask more questions directly. Hamza, before we get off, do you want to give me a Twitter account or somewhere that you want us to follow, either for updates from you or updates from Polygon, or both?
Yeah, for sure. So my Twitter handle is underscore my name, KHANHAMZAH. It's underscore KHANHAMZAH. You can check it out.
Mhm.
I
Okay,
usually
perfect. And come on and join us over on Twitter Spaces. I just posted up on the side, guys. I tagged the wrong Polygon. Oh, cool. That's so cool of me. Sorry about that. Anyway, please, despite that, we have Hamza with us, and we're going to go ahead and start this Twitter Spaces. I'm already over there, so come on, join us. Thank you so much, Hamza. Great having you on the show. Hope to talk to you again soon. Well, actually, I will in 2 minutes, but on Twitter. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone.
Thanks. All right, guys, that's going to wrap us up for right now. It's been fantastic having you here. Come on and join me over on Twitter. We're just hopping over onto the other space where we can have kind of a more informal discussion. Hopefully you can join us. In the meantime, please hit like and subscribe, and join me on Wednesday at 5 p.m. We're now on Mondays and Wednesdays instead of Mondays and Fridays, because I figure a lot of people are busy on Fridays, so we're just going to try Wednesdays. Thank you, and we will see you over on Twitter Spaces. Thank you very much, everyone. Peace.